Videos that they wanted me to respond to with a young man saying this and that and that. That's not very important, is it? All right, when we have occasion to deal with it, we'll deal with it. But first things and more important things first. Speaker Alban Sumanu Kingsford Bagbin says that he has turned down a board chairmanship that was offered to him by John Dramani Mahama. Let's see the video of what the speaker said. Then we'll come and I will deal with these analysis in some small detail. Let's have a look at the video.
Let's look at the concept in the Constitution. I listened to the minority leader. Let's look at the concept in the Constitution, where it is Parliament that exercises oversight over all those boards, public boards, and the same members of Parliament go to sit there and then report back to the House, come and participate, and then oversee what they have done over there. The principle of the law is clear. What is not specifically prohibited by the law is permitted by the law. But when it's specifically prohibited by the law, it's caught within that prohibition. And so, I, for example, as majority leader in 2009, when I was offered the position to be Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, I rejected it because I could not subsume the authority of a majority leader, the leader of the House, as a minister to be under the dictates and directive of the executive. So I have always argued against the majority leader, leader of the House, being a minister of state. People disagreed with me, and they continued. Today, I was offered to be chair of the National Health Insurance Authority, as you all know. Speakers chair it. I rejected it because I think it's not proper to go and chair the board, submit reports under the supervision of a minister. The speaker is now under a minister, and the report will come to the House, and the House will now be presided over by the minister, the speaker. And I said no. I rejected it. But that's what used to happen. Some of you don't know. That is not proper. You cannot go and chair the boards, the corporations, work over there, submit reports through the minister. The minister submits the report to Parliament. Then you come and preside over those reports and approve or disapprove. Please, issues of conflict of interest, prejudice arise. I have no problem with any member testing the matter in court. That is what the courts are there for. But I'm very clear in my mind that the step I've taken is one of the correct and best steps to enforce the authority of this House, to be able to hold public officers to account to the good people of this country.
You may not like Sumanu Bagbin for one reason or the other, but you can't take from him his perfect understanding of law and governance. You can't take that from Alban Bagbin. And he's been in the parliament for a very long time. Bagbin was in the parliament since 1996. So he's been in parliament for that long and he understands it. I think he makes a good point, but that brings us to a very serious matter. This criminal here, this criminal fraudster, running away criminal with her, Mr. Sansa Daly, whatever they are, this criminal here, found her way onto the National Health Insurance Authority board. This is the same board that Bagbin was going to chair. She's very lucky that she didn't get there to go and meet Bagbin as chairman. But this is the problem. This lady here is a professionally qualified medical doctor, practiced abroad, trained abroad, practiced abroad, part of the Ghana Medical and Dental Council in Ghana, delivered a seat for the NDC in the Sikado Keten that the NDC has never won. And I mean never, since 1996. Exclude 1992 because 1992, the MPP didn't contest. In 1996, since 96 till now, the seat has never been won. She contested in 2020, she came close, and in 2024, she delivered it for the NDC. Dr. Grace Ayensu is the subject of this conversation. Grace Ayensu here is a proper medically qualified doctor. But somehow, this fraudster and criminal and Sansa Daly, who the police are still refusing to arrest, I understand that the CID are very close, to arrest this fraudster. They put this fraudster there because this Mr. Sansa Daly with an SS2 qualification, living SS as SS2, in his SS2 brain, says that he is advising government and they should put this fraudster on the national health insurance. I'm very sad about it because look at the green paper. If you look at the green paper which they'll put on right now, the green paper here says that in 12.1, and maybe you can't see it, maybe you can give them this camera, they'll see it properly. You will see that it says 2 health professionals with expertise in insurance, criminal and Sansa Daly and Dr. Zaneto Rawlings. Now, how come that Grace Ayensu, who is still a member of parliament, who has not been made a minister, people think should be deputy minister of health, but that hasn't happened yet. How come that Grace Ayensu was not considered, but this criminal was considered, this fraudster, criminal and Sansa Daly was considered for a position like that, and Grace Ayensu wasn't considered? Maybe Grace Ayensu is going to get something else, I don't know. But it tells us a lot about the things that happen in this system. And I'm dovetailing this into going to have a conversation about something that the difference between government and opposition and how people should react. So the NHIS, National Health Insurance Authority document has a space for professionals with expertise in health insurance. Dr. Zaneto Rawlings was picked, and Dr. Sansa Daly was picked as well. The criminal, fraudster, criminal, blackmailer. She's just a criminal. This SS2 boy, who didn't continue because his grade point average was bad, not that he can pay for it, he can pay for it. And since then, he has not taken the opportunity after becoming an adult to read anything and get some brain in his head. And he just comes on TV to insult people. This criminal here, Mr. Sansa Daly, who claimed and bragged that he's the reason why they put Sansa Daly there, this fraudster, to do business. Let's have the photograph of Grace Ayensu and the fraudster again. And I think that we should be looking at these things, and it's not partisan, it's not NDC or MPP. Grace Ayensu is a member of the NDC, but you can't take away the fact that she's a great doctor. Not great because she has operated on me before, great because of her pedigree. You can check her pedigree, you see it. And she is NDC. She's actually in green. She's NDC. But if we do the politics in a way that you have fraudsters like this criminal man sitting in America says that he's a SS2 guy and that he's advising government, then they'll produce this fraudster here, and after weeks of the process, the police have still not apprehended her. In between the time her story broke and today, the police have actually apprehended somebody who was faking as a doctor in Kaswa. We showed you the story. Until the police arrest her, we would always remind people that this is what is happening. That this fraudster criminal here says that she's a doctor. She's not a nurse. She's nothing near medicine. Fakes as a doctor, and they put her on National Health Insurance Authority. Grace Ayensu is in parliament, has delivered a seat for the NDC that the NDC has never won since 1996. They've never won it, and she delivers the seat. She's in parliament. She's a doctor who practices at Airport Women's Hospital. People go there, they know her. She's practiced in America. I think her daughter is even a doctor as well. With such pedigree, they don't consider her because this fraudster here comes to lie to them, and they didn't know at the time this fraudster was lying to them that he has only a very minimal and completely embarrassing educational background, refused to learn as many people do. Some have never even been to school. They've learned since they were age 30, and that's why the University of Ghana has adult studies. University of Kwame University also has it. People don't ever get the opportunity to go to school. People's school fees are not paid. Their father cannot pay, so they learn themselves. This fraudster here decides that that's not the way to go. Just blackmail people with this criminal, and they find themselves on national health insurance. I'm delighted that the democratic system and the media system and the social media in Ghana was able to draw attention to the government. And I'm extremely excited that this is one of the quickest things that any government in the Fourth Republic did. that Callistus Mahama issued a letter withdrawing the appointment of this fake and criminal Sansa Daly, who should be in prison by now, go to court and let people hoot at her in the court. When they are bringing her to court, they should hoot at her because she's a criminal. And the day she comes to court, we'll see all the other things that they do, fraud, blackmail, and everything. The other day, Samson Ladi Ayinini called for her prosecution. I'll show you that video, and then we go to other things tonight. It's 17 minutes at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. This is Good Evening Ghana. It's live. Here's my brother Samson.
Dr. Dominic Kwame Obeng Ando faced accusations of causing harm to patients and even murder before his Obengfo hospital will be closed. He was arrested and put on trial for unregistered practice and operating an unlicensed health facility. He was in and out of court facing the Medical and Dental Council. He was named and shamed in a manner that it was and became not difficult at all for me to call his bluff and show that his suit against the multimedia group, Seth Kwame Boateng and Manasseh Azuri-Awini, was a dead on arrival nuisance action. We call it SLAP. They take it just to shut everybody up. They know it's nuisance. They know they won't win, but they take the suit because they have money. Fake Dr. Jonathan Ohene in Kunim damaged unsuspecting patients. He dragged and raped many of the women who visited his Nature's Hand Therapeutic Center in Bawe before Manasseh Azuri-Awini and the Fourth Estate exposed him and got him arrested. The licensed predator who advertised himself as a doctor and a preacher, a man of God, was disowned by the Allied Health Professional Council. Now a fake doctor, Sansa Daly, just had her appointment to the board of directors of the National Health Insurance Authority revoked. She had advertised herself as such and even got, a not diligent lawyer to issue what is now an embarrassing empty threat to those who exposed her. It may have been revoked even before she could be sworn in, but how credentials verification? That seems easy to do. Very easy to do. Just check with the Medical and Dental Council. She says she's graduated from Johns Hopkins, School of Medicine. Easy to check. How all this escaped all those involved in her appointment is curious. We have Niama Amatefio to thank for vigilance and the petition he took to the Medical and Dental Council, and Reginald Sechi Brown for also going further to confirm with the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine that Sansa Daly was never there. Now, this must not end here. The state must prosecute her to show that we are a serious country. A serious country that abhors this bad conduct. You're not a doctor. You say you're a doctor and you're killing people out of it. People are doing it. Why do we do that? People are carrying fake PhDs around. Why? She has committed various crimes, including violating the Health Professions Regulatory Bodies Act 2013 and the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960, both of which prohibit making a false declaration for registration as a medical or dental practitioner, falsely using the title doctor or any designation suggesting professional licensure in medicine, practicing or receiving payments for medical services without being duly registered, falsely pretending and knowingly misrepresenting facts with intent to defraud, making a false document, and dealing with or knowingly presenting a forged document. The law prohibits all of this. So she's caught on just too many fronts of the law, we build a decent country on our good traditions and culture, the good Bible, the Quran, and the law, which teach us that we will suffer punishment and embarrassment if we do not tell the truth, we act corruptly, and if we do not act with integrity. And that is my take. The state must take this beyond revoking her appointment.
The state must prosecute her because she's a criminal. And next time he gets into Ghana, he must be arrested and sent to the court to deal with his contempt issues. He also is a criminal. That's who they are. Fraudsters, criminals, liars. That's who they are. Now, I want to say something about the difference between being in opposition and being in government. And I'm just saying this to young people who are working with political parties. You have to understand something. That when you are in opposition, anything is fair game. You can say anything and you get away with it. It's fine. When you're in opposition, the presidential candidate, the leader, can give anybody an appointment and he doesn't need to show CV. He can give anybody an appointment, doesn't need to show CV. He doesn't need to show any CV. He can give anybody an appointment. So if you watch this flyer behind me here, this was last year. John Dramani Mahama, presidential candidate as he then was of the National Democratic Congress, was leading a Women's Day, Women Empowerment, Empowering Women for the Future, the theme. Very, very good conference. And here you see it. This is John Dramani Mahama, the president. This is Joyce Bauer, one of my very good friends, but we are fighting right now. But she was a good friend of mine. I hope we'll be good friends again, or we'll fight again and be good friends again and fight again. This is Sansa Daly. And look at what they write there. Dr. and Sansa Daly. This was the NDC in opposition. In opposition, nobody is going to check CV. No, we don't. Nobody checks CV. Nobody cares. But once you get to government, then the CV becomes important. The criminal fraudster here represented herself as a doctor. And everybody accepted it. Look at the caliber of people on the flyer. Look at the caliber. Jenna Nopokwa Jaman, then running mate. Mrs. Kuma Odro is a certified counselor. This is our friend Prophet Odro, who miscalculated the e-levy and said that he had paid some humongous e-levy and social media came after him. And he likes to say, "Tie." And he couldn't tie the e-levy. But he's a good guy. He's a good guy. This is the Venerable Charlotte Osei with much distinction. We all know that. And this is Joyce Bauer, a qualified lawyer. And this is President John Dramani Mahama. On this platform, had this thief called Sansa Daly, thief, criminal, told everyone here, convinced everyone here that she's a doctor. It didn't matter. It didn't matter because it's opposition. That's how it is. She's such a thief that she smuggled her way into, I don't remember, I don't even know what she said. I didn't look at the conference. I'm wondering what she said because she has nothing to speak like a doctor. As soon as she speaks, you know that she's not a doctor. She's a fraudster, criminal that the police should be finding. They have still not found. She managed to find herself in this conference. Fair enough. Why was she able to do that? She was able to do that because of position. Okay, so she convinced everyone here that she's a doctor. Now power comes. And then her criminal, Mr. Sansa Daly, says that, hey, give me post. I have only SS2, so I can't get post. So give my post to the doctor. And the post is given to the doctor. But in government, you have to show the CV. When President Mahama appointed Mr. Tamaklo Eduji as the director of legal for the party, he didn't need to give anybody any CV. He just appointed him. But when he appointed him as the chief executive of the National Petroleum Authority, right there is a CV. Why is it so? Because the political party that forms the government, they actually take over the state. And the state has rules and regulations that nobody can change. So the state has rules and regulations that say, for instance, that if you want to nominate somebody for the Supreme Court, that person ought to have completed 15 years at the bar. If I am the best friend of the president loves me to bits, and he wins the election, and I have done 11 years at the bar, the president will not be able to nominate me for the Supreme Court. If he does that, Parliament will pull the nomination back. That's how government is. So that's for appointments and all of that. Let me have the photographs of the communicators, Shamima and co. And I want to say something about that's for the appointment. You have to demonstrate your CV. And when the CV comes in, you see people are running helter-skelter all over the place these days. Tomorrow they say somebody is not a doctor. Tomorrow they say this. Then they change the appointment. This and that. Because they are in government. All these people play those roles in opposition. But in government, you can't do that. In government, the government takes over the state has its rules. Here is Felix Kwame Fosu and Shamima Muslim. Now, when it gets to government, and I'm talking about journalists, when a government is in place, and you are a media person that supported the government in opposition and therefore don't support the government in government, which is fair, there's no problem with that. You have to recognize that in supporting a government, you need to generate a narrative. You need brain. It's not as simple. In opposition, you just shout. So you come and then you are biting and say, hey, MPP government, reduce the petrol price. Akufo-Addo says they should carry chair for him. Look at 58 million cathedral hole. And then you go and swim in the hole. You can say that. And the people in opposition, they will like it. They will like you for that. As soon as they transition into government, you now need to develop a theory. When you cannot develop the theory because you don't have the capacity, the simple capacity to do it, you come and say about nurses that they don't have WASI. That is your way of explaining. That's your way of speaking for the government. But the government doesn't like that because you are making them look bad. Because you cannot think and you cannot create anything because you don't have the capacity. When the government is in government, you are useless to them. And people are beginning to find out. That's why you're seeing on social media, we won the election, and now they are talking to other people. No. You can bite. But if you cannot think, and you cannot create a theory, you cannot do the thesis, the synthesis, the antithesis in government, you are finished. Because you are going to be worrying Shamima. When you call them, they will not pick. Because your head is empty. What are you coming to tell them? Nurses are on strike. Government says nurses want $1 billion. And they get 2 billion and they cannot do it. If you are a government person, you have to generate a narrative. Well, come on your touch screen. Nurses say they want 2 billion. If that 2 billion is given to them, this is what's going to happen to the economy. Show your graphs, marginal utility, demand and supply. This is what's going to happen to the economy. Can we appeal to the nurses that they shouldn't do that? Because if you take 2 billion out, this is what is going to happen. Maybe they will not be able to do capex. If you do that, nobody will get angry with you. People might not agree with you, but they will know that you have developed a theory. It will happen like that. But if you don't have the capacity to develop a theory, you can't do the synthesis, you can't do the antithesis, then you will just come and say that, oh, nurses don't have WASI. They didn't pass WASI. And then the government doesn't want you because you are creating problem for them. Why are you creating problem for them? Because you cannot think. You can't think. You don't have thinking capacity. You don't have the tools to think. You think it is just about shouting. Shouting is easy. Go and tell Akufo-Addo to come and bring the 58 million. That's easy. That's easy. Everybody can say it. I can say it. Everyone can say it. So, Shamima, I'm going to give you a scenario of a conversation. That Shamima goes to Felix Kwame Fosu's office. And then they are sitting there and says, Felix, we should organize a press conference for the old man. And Felix says, you think so? I say, yeah. He said, what will people think? What are we? That's the conversations they have. I'm playing a scenario, but that's what happens. And then Shamima will say, okay, let's call some people, media people, and ask them. When they think about calling media people to ask them, they are not thinking about NDC media alone, no. They are thinking about media people who can think. So you biting over there with your empty head, they are not going to call you. And when you call them, Shamima will say, who is calling? He say, bite. You say, oh, you put the phone down, let's talk to other people. They will call somebody, they will call Kwesi Pratt for sure. They will call somebody who, get me the photograph of Blessed Soga of Joy FM, if you can. And then also, we've used it before. And then also the TV3 guy, Okatakyie. Get me those two photographs. I want to make an illustration with it. So Shamima will get a phone call and it's bite, and he'll say, oh, Charlie, put this guy, he's going to give us problems. He's going to talk about nurses don't have WASI for what? What? Charlie, throw him away. And they won't pick your call and you'll get frustrated. Shamima, them are going to decide that let us call Paul Adom for what it's worth, or Kofi Mensah for what it's worth. They know that he's not with them. So they'll call, they say, put it on speaker. They'll put you on speaker. Hey, it's Kofi Nati saying, this is Shamima's voice. He said, hey, madam, nene dem ko dying. No, give me, I'll come to that. Give me the other, keep it, I'll call for it. Give me the other one. So back to the Shamima conversation. There's an idea because I know a friend. They say, oh, Charlie, how are you? They say, Kofi, listen, Charlie, how are you doing your 38%? Are you managing it? They will tease each other small. So, okay. They say, Charlie, wants to do a press conference for the old man. What do you think? Because what are people going to say? They say, well, it's been 6 months. He hasn't done a press conference. So we are just thinking that he should do. What do you think? They say, what are going to be the issues? They say, why don't you wait for the media review? This is Kofi, who is not NDCO, who they respect his brain. This is what he's telling them. That why don't you wait for the media review budget, and after that you can do the press conference? Because from what I'm seeing on the social media, the media review budget, you guys have something to say. I see that the Fitch has done an upgrading and a few things. The dollar is still stable, so maybe you should wait for that and do it. This is a genuine person who is not NDC. But because the two people respect his brain, they are going to call him. They'll put the phone down and say, okay, let's call Kweku Baku. So they'll call, Bombay, are you there? They say, you NDC people, what is happening? They say, oh, Bombay, we are doing well. This one there, you can't say we are not doing well. Look at the dollar, we are doing well. Akufo-Addo, was he able to do that? Then they will laugh. They'll say, Bombay, you want to do a press conference for the old man. What do you think? They say, when? So around this time. They will say, what are you going to say? We've said everything already. What are you going to say? So, well, we think that we should do a press conference for him. Then he might also say, do you have anything really to say? Then they'll ask him that, or you think we should finish the media review? They will say, yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe you can finish the media review. That's how they make their decisions. They are not making decisions with some empty head who is going to insult nurses and create problem for them. No, they are making their decisions with intelligent people, whether they are in NDC or they are in MPP, they are blue or they are red, because media is a fraternity. Media is a fraternity. So that's what happens. So when you are sitting down there, you are talking bites and your head is empty, when the party is in government as it is, you will be frustrated because you can't think, you can't create a theory, you can't create a thesis. You just come and you see, let people know that it doesn't matter about who passed WASI or who didn't pass WASI. It doesn't matter. When you are speaking on television and you are inarticulate, people can tell. And you are struggling to think, people can tell. When your brain capacity is not 16 karat, people can tell. They may not be NDC or MPP. They may not agree with what you are saying in terms of politics, but they can tell that this guy is smart. They can tell. I've never met Blessed Sogan before of Joy FM. When I watched his introduction to a Joy FM news and current affairs program, now give me Blessed Sogan, I came to the studio and said, wow, this guy is solid. This guy, he's solid. I said it before. Maybe some of you watching today didn't see it, but I said it before. I just heard the introduction. It's just that I didn't watch the whole program. He just said, this is Blessed Sogan, welcome to something he talked. You see, the way he picked the thing, I knew that the guy is solid. Look at Okanse at TV3. When you listen to Okanse, and a Saturday morning I was watching him moderating their, I call it pre-news file. They have I think it's key points, that's what they call it. I saw him monitoring key points, and I was excited. Actually, this guy is solid. You see, some people are solid. They don't make noise. Those with their empty head come and talk about their great point. You won't talk about great point. People are talking about great point from Warwick, you know. You are talking about great points from, oh, please. Let's get serious. This guy is solid. Okanse is solid. And I'm excited that we have journalists who are solid. So it's important that we let people know. Young people right now who are following Kennedy Japan, you are following Mahamadou Bawumia, you are following Kwame Japan. Beware that the day they become president is no longer about your shouting. It's about your ability to think and your genuine CV, not fake doctor, fake this, fake. If you do that, they love you. Yes, because you work for them on the campaign. But in governments, they have to submit the CV to somebody. And the check will come back and Callistus Mahama will write that the appointment revoked. And it will pain the president because he likes you. But now he has become owner of the state. And he has to apply the principles laid out by the state. And that includes CV. So you will be found wanting. And then the president will beg you and say, Charlie, you did, I beg you, you know, this and that and that. You see my friend Apia Stadium, very good friend of mine. Apia came and did a video and said, oh, they school, but the Odebe Mami Bia, Meji. President Mahama loves Apia Stadium. I'm sure that if Apia Stadium had qualification, he would have been at National Security as the deputy director. But in the circumstances that myself and Kwame Apia find ourselves, we cannot be deputy national security. We just have to contain and maintain our loyalty to John Dramani Mahama and hope that our children, and I like Apia Stadium for that, he's very genuine about that. He's very honest about that. And he's hoping that John Dramani Mahama and the NDC will stay in power long, and then his children who are going to SSS will climb up to university, they'll become a lawyer. And one day, when the NDC is still in power and John Mahama is a godfather, he will go to John Mahama and say, this is my daughter. And John Mahama will say, Apia's daughter, make her deputy attorney general because she has been called to the bar. That's how it works. It's not empty talk. It's not empty head. As for opposition, we can all shout. But the day you come to government, you have to show your CV and you have to show your capacity. That's food for thought. Some people understand. Some people may not know why. Many people understand. Let's go to Bobie Ansa. And when he has finished, we'll take text messages. ABF Husseini is ready for the interview. Later on, we have an HR interview also coming up. So this is what Bobie Ansa said. I don't know why he said it, but that's what he said.
Okay. That NDC for sure no more straight. But NDC subai. Omo power na omo ewura office pe air condition bono. No to be Chilean cruiser pe na ni Jimmy Aba. NDC ni bia subai. Onye ewura office ohun air condition first 4 years na yemano. That is how a typical NDC person thinks. Okay, that NDC for sure no more straight. But NDC subai omo power na omo ewura office pe air condition bono no to be Chilean cruiser pe na ni Jimmy Aba NDC ni bia subai onye ewura office ohun air condition first 4 years na yemano. That is how a typical.
But so person by Johnny. So my mention there or my mention the menu Johnny here. Mo hold on. Daniel Bonnie Yenti start view.
At the pump.
Okay, so start view.
But they are not, the people are happy that you are giving them cheaper prices.
So first of all, Danny wants to remind the people that for your testimony, when you're happy, it's not the people speaking. Danny can they all feel it? Can they all feel it? Can they all feel it? There is one issue yato petromu and ayata so, and there is another yade tax yato so. So when you want to hit it, go straight and hit it, and say tax na modiato so no. It is neither here nor there. And as I may support it, you must bite. You don't need to lick. So he said the people are happy that you've reduced. So communication. He wants to remind the people that we've reduced the pump, fuel price at the pump. Johnny can was ya can't. Deal with it once. After yes, and Johnny, obey.
But they are now complaining that you have given us this, we are happy, we are praising you. Now you want to come and take
Okay. Hold on. Look at what the but they are praising you that we are not happy you are here, and look at. No, the people have not said they are happy anywhere. So, Johnny, please continue to bite. Don't be licking. This one sounds like you are licking instead of biting. Johnny, please, you have to lick. And you have to bite. Don't lick. After you say, the people are happy and they are happy. Johnny, come on, it's tax in the account. Tax in the wasam. After young trust, you need to
it shows that you have not properly engaged the people.
Okay, so wait. So again, Johnny is saying that the issue is not about tax and adetusuno, but the issue is about engaging the people. So he's moving semantics. He's moving away from the core issue to now say that you should have engaged the people. So the problem is communication. And he will go on to say it, that the only problem the MPP had was communication. So Johnny, please, bite. A tax and adetusuno. Opposition is saying, what do you think? Don't be doing semantics with language. Johnny, maybe I know bite. Akufo-Addo, you are not going to say it this way. Johnny's bite.
If you had engaged the people, you'd have known that, we can't pay 1 cedi. We don't want to pay 1 cedi. We want to pay 30 pesos. We want to pay 5 pesos. Or we don't want to pay. Communication was the problem of the previous government. I told you.
Johnny. Communication was not the problem. Ekufadu Levy engage Ghana for across the country. You call home stakeholders town halls meeting in Abem. So it's not communication. Don't make it substantive issue. Oh, Miana Johnny. Oleki. Johnny bites it. What it? Bites it there. What you say? I bite it.
The Honorable Kwame Obeng, aka A+, took to social media to make spurious allegations against me, calling me corrupt and a thief. Besides the name calling, the Facebook post in its totality was a palpable falsehood. I was never involved in the passage of the sanitation levy, as I was not a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, let alone to be in a position to influence the composition of the membership of the committee. And I have the Hansard as documentary support for what I'm saying. I have the votes and proceedings of Parliament. Unfortunately, I left them in the office. I think I have them here. Yes. So for the media, the report of the committee as well as the vote and proceedings are here. If you want to do some research on the matter that he alleged that I was involved and I channeled, I made sure that the membership of the committee was, changed. And then the monies from the sanitation levy were channeled to my friend, and so on and so forth. I'm not friends with whoever was the beneficiary of the sanitation levy. But interestingly, A+ warned me in the post not to do anything silly and that he will come after me if I did. That is laughable. First of all, I do not act silly because I think through the consequences of my actions, not only for my person, but also for others. That is what we were taught in Notre Dame Minor Seminary, and I am proud to say, without fear of any contradiction, that I have kept faith with that principle. Secondly, the threat is laughable because I have nothing to hide. I am reliably informed that his basis of saying that I am corrupt and a thief is that I took campaign contribution from a businessman at East Legon known as Dr. Sledge, and that he also knows the people who donated pickups for my campaign. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if receiving donations for your campaign or getting a pickup for a campaign is thievery or corruption, then there are 276 thieves in Parliament, including the person who was making the allegation himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, if A+ has any evidence of corruption or thievery against me, I am challenging him today to call a press conference and present the evidence or present it to the police to investigate me. In contrast, the media should ask him about the silly thing that I was about to do, which frightened him so much into making that silly post about me. He should be asked what he knows about the National Service ghost name scandal